This is the continuing story of Peyton Place. Starring Dorothy Malone as Constance Mackenzie, Warner Anderson as Matthew Swain, Ed Nelson as Michael Rossi, and Mia Farrow as Allison Mackenzie.
Morning, Allison.
On this quiet street in Peyton Place, something happened last night that'll change the entire life of Allison Mackenzie. Her mother, Constance, saw it happen.
Allison? Right away, Mother. Morning, Allison.
Good morning.
Wish I'd learned to buy bacon so it doesn't curl.
Yeah.
Which one?
The Post. An assistant editor says my writing shows promise. Promise.
Well, you'll just have to set it out again. Don't let your eggs get cold.
You know, the trouble is I just don't have the experience. I mean, I'm writing things about life without ever having lived it.
Well, you're only 17.
Almost 18.
Allison, why don't you let me read your stories? For instance, what's this one about?
It's about a relationship between a man and a woman.
What's that mean?
Oh, Mother, you know what it means. I guess I'm just not qualified to write about that yet.
Well, then don't try to write about it. I sell enough books in that bookstore by authors too well qualified on the subject.
Yeah.
And there's so many wonderful things for a girl to write about. The point is, a girl your age...
Will you please stop it? Do you think I'm still a child?
No, but...
When you were my age, you were married and had a baby.
Very well. Finish your breakfast.
I'm not hungry. How did you happen to see me with Rodney Harrington last night?
Well, I wasn't spying. I heard him drive up and I looked to see who it was.
We weren't necking. He kissed me once. And I kissed him once. Mother, you saw everything there was to see.
I'm a little confused. I thought it was Rodney's brother, Norman, you were seeing.
Norman and I are friends.
I'm still confused. Isn't Rodney going with Betty Anderson?
They broke off.
When?
I don't know.
You know Rodney's reputation?
I'm not interested in people's reputations, especially Peyton Place reputations. I'm only interested in how he acts with me.
Well, so am I.
Mother, I'm tired of being something special. Like I don't know, like some sort of museum piece with a big sign on. 19th century, mid-Victorian, please do not touch.
You don't have to be like everybody else.
Do I have to be different? Rod asked me to see him Friday night, and I'm going to.
Why?
There's a paper.
Oh, Allison, I just want to be proud of you.
Aren't you now?
Oh, of course.
Then prove it. prove it. Trust me. I'm gonna get my books. I better get going. We've got a history quiz this morning. Mother, what's wrong? You look like you've seen a ghost.
Hey, Rod, will you turn it down? What's bugging you? I gotta study. In the morning? Got a history quiz. Who are the principal participants of the Congress of Vienna? How did you know Leonard Jaw's questions?
I don't. It's a possible question.
Well, who were they?
Talleyrand, Metternich, Alexander, and Alexander the First. I don't care.
Well, listen, Norm, you want to go to college?
Look, I'm not sure I do. I mean, what's the point? Huh? Are you getting anything out of it?
Well, you and I are different. I mean, you were always the brain.
Yeah. Sure.
Well, you don't have to agree with me. Okay, tell Big Brother.
Tell him what?
What's clogging the gray cells?
Nothing.
Norm, you used to breeze through school.
I lost interest.
Why?
No reason.
Man, you're hard to talk to.
Look, I'm not trying to converse.
Okay, kid.
Hey, Rod. Don't call me kid.
I'm sorry. You having problems, Norm, like with chicks or something?
No?
What about Allison Mackenzie?
What about her?
You still see her?
Sure, I see her.
Ever gonna date her?
Allison and I are good friends. Why?
I ran into her last night.
Where?
Around. Gave her a ride home.
I thought you went out with Betty Anderson.
Well, I took her home early. About you and Allison.
What about us?
It's not a thing, is it?
No, it's not a thing.
Well, I just want to be positive you're not hung up on her, that's all.
Hey, look, Rod. What are you getting at?
Come on, Norm, don't be a drag. I have asked Allison for a date, and I want to make sure I'm not putting the knife in you, that's all. Well, I'm not, am I?
She going out with you?
I caught her when her guard was down.
You dropping Betty Anderson?
Well, we were getting a little too deep. I decided to play the field.
I never knew Allison was in the field.
What are you doing today?
Oh, nothing much. I am planning to go to Boston tomorrow. There's a new exhibit by a Brazilian painter. And besides, I want to see my father.
You could call the hospital.
I haven't seen my father for a week. And I'm thinking I might arrange for him to come home.
Now, Catherine, that's impossible.
You said this new doctor who's taking Donald's place. Rossi?
Rossi.
Rossi. You said he's brilliant.
That's what I heard. Why don't we wait and see for ourselves? Give your father my love.
I'll be sure to do that, Leslie.
Oh, tell him George Anderson called from New York. Thinks we'll get that supply contract.
George is beginning to work out.
Fine. He'll do all right.
Well, I'm glad. For Julie's sake. Maybe now she'll be able to stop working.
Give your father my love.
You said that already, Leslie.
Let's say it twice. Morning.
Good morning.
That's all right, June. I'll serve myself, thank you. Is that all you're having?
I have a class.
I want to talk to you, Rod.
I'm late.
You've been late to class before. Sit down. Sit down, Rod.
Yes, sir.
And don't start that again.
No, sir.
Rod, about last night. I want to clear up any misconceptions.
I don't have any misconceptions, Dad. I saw you.
You saw something all right. You saw a mistake, Rod. Now, Mrs. Anderson and I are together all day long. We were tired. She's attractive, and I did kiss her.
Yes, sir.
I want you to forget last night.
Yes, sir. I better go now.
Rod, you're old enough to understand that, well, this kind of thing can happen when things aren't exactly right at home.
Tell me, Dad. Why did you have to pick on the mother of the girl I've been going around with?
Well, did he get my last message? Oh, will you take another message, please? Tell him to call Betty Anderson. Yes, thank you.
Do you think that was really a good idea?
I've got to reach him.
Something special?
More or less.
Well, now, which is it?
It's more. Aren't you late this morning?
Oh, a couple of minutes. Mr. Harrington will forgive me.
Has he ever said anything about Rod and me?
Has who said?
Mr. Harrington.
Well, no, not really. Why?
I just wondered.
Well, tell me.
Well, Rod stopped at the mill last night and he wanted to see his father about Rossi. You know, the new doctor?
Yes.
Well, he came back in 5 minutes and everything was different. We broke off last night, or he broke off.
What did he say?
He said, I'll call you. Mother, you didn't hear them talking, did you?
No, I was downstairs.
Downstairs.
I had to get something out of the files. Oh, Betty, don't keep after Rod. There are other boys.
Mother, I don't want anyone else. Besides, I don't want to be dropped. Not after all this time.
Oh, Betty.
Mother, I'm in love with him. I want to marry him. I thought we might get married maybe this summer, but
I didn't know you were that serious.
what should I do?
Don't chase him.
Oh, that's easy to say.
Well, he'll come back to you. You'll see. When your father comes home, I wouldn't tell him.
Why not?
Well, you know how angry he can be.
Not with me. Mother.
Yes?
Never mind.
Good morning.
Oh, good morning, Mr. Swain.
Matt. I see I picked up a new reader.
A grateful one. Thanks for the story.
Well, it does pay to advertise. Ethically, of course.
See, sentimentally, you don't think I can get a couple more copies of this, do you? I know someone that kind of keeps a scrapbook.
Well, you stay in Peyton Place long enough, we'll fill it up for you. But Connie Mackenzie opens at 9 o'clock. She'll have all the extra copies you want.
Oh, fine, fine.
Anything you need, let me know.
Thanks.
I'm sorry.
Oh, you all right?
I'm sure I am. You're Dr. Rossi.
Yes.
I'm Laura Brooks. I was taking Donald's diplomas down. You must think I'm foolish leaving them there these last months.
No. No, I don't.
Familiar, isn't it?
Yes, well, we were in the same class.
He wasn't a very good student. But he was a very good doctor.
Yes, I'm sure he was.
I don't know why I'm defending him.
Well, you don't have to.
Peyton Place misses him. He had a touch with people. I'm sorry, Dr. Rossi. I shouldn't be talking about Donald. I wouldn't except you were his friend. He did read the letters you wrote to him. I'm awfully glad it's you and not some stranger taking over his practice.
So, Mrs. Brooks, I know how difficult this can be for you.
Oh, I'm all right, Doctor. And I would like to be as useful to you as I can.
Well, wouldn't you prefer I take care of these other things myself?
There are so many odds and ends. Why, 2 of Donald's patients called already today. I mean, your patients, Doctor. They read of your arrival and wanted me to make appointments for them. Will you be keeping the same hours Donald kept?
Well, what do you suggest?
Well, I think it would be best until you'd settled in. You'll probably find things are somewhat different around here.
Yes. Yes.
Don't let me inhibit you, Doctor.
Thanks. Look, Mrs. Brooks, could you set up those 2 appointments for me?
Yes, Doctor. Right away.
Dan, you might as well come back and brief me on the other patients.
Yes, Doctor. I'll bring in their histories. Right with you.
No hurry.
May I help you?
Matthew Swain said I could get a couple extra copies of the Peyton Place Clarion here.
Oh, yes, it's right over here.
So I'm gonna need about 5 copies.
5?
Yeah, it isn't every day you get your picture on the front page. I'm Michael Rossi.
Constance Mackenzie.
Mrs.?
Mrs.
Mrs.
5 will be 50 cents.
50 cents? No quantity discount?
There really should be.
Mrs. Mackenzie,
Yes?
did we ever meet before?
Oh, excuse me.
Hey. Morning, Constance. Has the new Agatha Christie come in yet?
Oh, it's due in today, Hattie.
Well, save me one. I can't wait to see what that woman's up to this time.
I'll call you as soon as it comes in.
Fine. Goodbye.
Anything else?
Oh, no, I don't think so. Goodbye.
I do know you.
Oh, I don't think so.
Well, I have a phenomenal memory. It's what got me through medical school.
It's possible, Dr. Rossi, but I don't remember you. I'm sorry.
Well, it may be my mistake. I have a feeling that if we did meet, we will remember.
Thank you, Dr. Rossi.
Goodbye, Miss Mackenzie.
I'll probably be a regular customer. I read a lot. Agatha Christie.
Jerry, the page 2 lead will run around 4 sticks. Better hold room for 5.
Matt, I've got to talk to you.
Always have time for a short-tailed relative. What's on your mind?
Rossi, he was just in.
I know, I sent him. See, there's no point in giving him free newspapers when he can buy them from you.
He said he thought he'd seen me before.
Well, that's the usual conversational opening.
Oh, no, it isn't. He was on the ward when Allison was born. He was an orderly
It was almost 18 years ago.
I know, but...
Why would he remember you?
Matt, I had a terribly hard time. I was in the hospital almost 3 weeks, and he was very attentive.
Even so.
Oh, don't you see, Matt? I remember him.
Even if Rossi does remember you, what about it?
The young widow.
How would he know otherwise?
Oh, Matt, there were so many young widows on that ward. You don't understand. I lied to him just now. I think he feels I lied.
Now, wait a minute, Constance. You're not the only woman to whom this kind of thing has ever happened. For almost 18 years, you've held yourself apart from Allison, from the town, from anyone that might have loved you, anyone you might have loved. You know, maybe the good book is right. The truth shall set you free.
The truth might set me free, but what would it do to Allison?
Preview from the continuing story of Peyton Place.
I have to. Because you act like you wish I never came to Peyton Place.
That isn't true. That's not true.
He's my son. He won't cause me trouble.
There is trouble, Les.
What?
My daughter.
Oh.
I was the one who said we can't go steady, but that was a long time ago when the summer began.
Don't do that, Betty. Don't accuse me. You wanted to be with me.
I love you.
Allison.